really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke podcast. My name is Sean Welch from Cali Comfort BBQ, and we are here recording in Spring Valley, San Diego, little East County love, above the butcher shop at Valley Farm Market with my man Derek Marceau. What's happening today, Derek?
Not much. Finally got our prime ribs in.
You got your prime ribs? Holiday time?
Holiday time, man. We're getting all those export USDA prime and choice prime ribs in, and it's filling up our fucking cooler, the whole thing. So hopefully we get through them. It's an exciting time of year, though, because it's...
You've already expanded a cooler, right? This is from since last year?
Since last year, we haven't expanded anything for cooler-wise.
Did you recently expand, like the last 2 years? When did you add that other cooler?
It was actually 3 years ago. It was,
seriously?
Yeah, it was when Dalton was born. Remember, I took one day
what
off.
What happened? Why is Dalton growing up so fast?
Yeah, it's three years. So it was when he was born, I took one day off to have him, and then I was here building those coolers and ripping coolers down and putting them all in. And I remember when we built it, I'm like, there's zero chance that I'm going to be able to fill all this up. And if I do fill all this up, I fucking hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
And it's all full, but I still haven't hit that jackpot yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're getting there, though.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate everybody that's tuning into the podcast. This is a marketing and business podcast. We talk about barbecue events. We talk about catering. We talk about building a restaurant, if those are your dreams. We talk to other people that are in sports entertainment, people that we've met because of
jumping off the cliff.
We talk about jumping off the entrepreneurial cliff. For those of you that hate what you're doing, but absolutely love cooking barbecue or
that's a pretty fucking cool podcast yesterday. Or with when was it going to drop?
Well,
our last podcast with Sam.
Yeah, that was
But just talking about taking that leap of if you fucking hate what you're doing, and every single day you're driving to work and you're like, I fucking hate this, change it.
Yeah. Figure
out a way to change it because life's too short to do something that you hate for 30% of your day. You know?
I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we have as a restaurant and, as a butcher shop, to find ways to continue to motivate our staff. Because the last thing, one of my biggest fears is that being one of our staff members pulling into our parking lot and being like, fuck this place.
We have to figure out a way to
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, figure out a way to create an environment where they want to come to work.
They want to come to work. They want to learn more. They want to be educated. Yeah,
it's our job, like as a coach, right? We have to be the coach of the team to like rally the troops to get them going and get them motivated. And you can't take that lightly.
No, you can't take that lightly at all because it's our job to be an incubator. We're the best people. They're going to come, and whatever period of time we have them, they're going to make our company better. So, if we can support them and then let them go off on their path, we'll always be here. They know where to find us.
Yeah, we've been here 61 years. I don't think we're going anywhere soon, but, we encourage people to come here, learn, do what they want to do. There's career paths. And then if they choose something else, we wish them the best of luck. And, usually, for the most part, the door's usually always open.
Well, today's awesome. We get to actually bring in a team that we've... Life is amazing when you actually put yourself out there. I went up with my wife, her father, her mother, and Colleen, who was he couldn't have been a month old or so, and it was the Vista Barbecue Classic, the 8th annual KCBS event up there. Went out there just to check it out. It was probably about a month before Del Mar, and was just walking around, checking out the teams, introducing myself. They were all very busy. The teams that were competing in PC, just seeing the layout of how they ran their event, where the KCBS, where the comp-only teams were located, if they had other food vending there, what other activities were going on. And, there was a couple teams that I met there that right off the bat, we hit it off. And Yardpirates, they took off work today to come and fucking podcast with us to tell us their story. We're honored to
very honored, guys. Thank you so much. We know that fucking drive's a long way. What is it, 45 minutes an hour? So
Something like that.
we appreciate you
So
guys.
you guys are
making it
North
down
County,
here.
San Diego, for those that don't know. But you guys are out of Escondido, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Escondido Valley Center.
At Escondido Valley Center. So we have Jeremy, we have Garrett, we have Andrew. We got 3. This is the triangle offense. Why don't you? Who's the ringleader? Or if there's no ringleader, who's the asshole that's pushing people off the cliff?
Well, I think me and Jeremy both.
Yeah.
There's times I got to push this guy off, and there's times that I've been pushed by him. So,
That's what a good team is.
Yeah.
That's why Derek and I work, because I push, but he likes to push back.
Yeah.
I push. a lot.
He pushes hard too.
Yeah.
And then Andy's our buddy. We've known him for a long time, and he's got that same passion for barbecue that we needed another teammate, and we need somebody who's all in with it, and not just let me see if I can fit it in kind of thing. And
Well, it's a blood type, right? You have to
It's
find
a
that
blood
person
type.
that has that same blood type. And
Totally.
if it doesn't work, like we always joke, if it doesn't work, no sweat off my dick. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just figure it out, and we can find somebody else. But that's awesome. You
Yeah.
guys found each other. How long you guys been, you 3, doing it?
Well, for a couple competitions now, we well, it's funny because Andy said we never asked him to.
They didn't. I was.
But I swear
Yeah.
we asked him multiple times. But
You asked him what? What did you ask him?
well, basically, hey,
You want to work for free?
yeah.
yeah, you want to come bust your ass and help us
You
for
want to come
nothing
work
in
your
return?
fucking ass?
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to earn a T-shirt?
Yeah. Right.
You want to stay up all night?
Do you want to stay up all night, clean a bunch of shit, work your ass off, not make any money? Yeah.
So
Sounds
Andy-
amazing, guys.
Yeah, Andy,
sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the hardest thing too. Is like,
Well, it's not only that, but I have to pitch that to my family.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the things that we talk about. We talked about with Sam last week, and it's been a theme we talk about a lot on the podcast. Is we can all have dreams and hopes, but if you don't have support from within that, whoever's at home, it's just not going to work. Because there's going to be peaks and valleys, and when you hit those valleys, it gets tough, and you need people to support you and people in your corner.
Yeah, 100%. We wouldn't be here definitely without our spouses. That's for sure. I mean,
How long have you guys known each other?
oh Jesus,
10 years.
yeah, 10 plus years.
years.
Yeah, 10 plus years.
How'd you meet?
I actually worked with his wife at the bank that I work at, and Jeremy. And,
I've known his brother from bicycle stuff for, I don't know, 25 years, something like that.
Really?
And then just we all go to the desert and stuff too. So
Glamis
that's
and Gordon's or what?
Mostly Ocotillo Wells, just because
Okay.
we're North County and it's
Hardpack.
close. But I've got a special place in my heart for Glamis and Gordon's. I
Right.
haven't been in a while, but there's nothing better than throwing a paddle on a dirt bike and letting loose.
That's where we grew up. Growing up, just going down the 8 and heading out there. We go to Ocotillo every once in a while,
Yeah.
some superstition, but
Yeah.
Gordon's and Glamis were pretty much what we did.
When you go out there, how long are you out there for?
It depends on the weekend. I mean, like for New Year's, we're hoping to go 4 or 5 days. Kind of.
And when you're out there, you're tailgating.
Oh, for sure.
You're
The whole time.
barbecuing.
It used to be, how much gas can I ride through my dirt bike? And now it's like, I rode a gallon through it in 4 days. But hey, look at all this food we made. Everybody was stoked. And,
What are we going to cook this time?
That's usually what comes up is, what are we going to cook this time?
Isn't that funny how that works out? I mean,
yeah.
it's something that, whether it's, going to Glamis, going off-roading, if that's your thing, food, tailgating, camping, it all comes together when you're cooking with people that you love,
Oh, yeah.
that have your same blood type that you love. Everybody performs a certain task in the village. You get a bunch of shit together and you have a great time.
Yep.
Those are the memories that we remember, decades from now.
So did your guys' passion for cooking come out there? I mean, did you guys start barbecuing and be like, okay, then let's do a KCBS event? Like, how the fuck did that come about?
I'll let you tell that story, Gary.
Yeah.
So I mean, originally when I back in the day bought a propane, barbecue from Home Depot or something like that, and used that for a little bit, and then I remember seeing a coworker grilling just literally with a grill over a fire and cooking chicken, and also other friends from the desert, just using the fire with just straight up grill on some rocks and all
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And where I work, there's a trash pile, a metal pile, and they had some 55-gallon metal drums. And finally scoped one out, found it. It was a good one. Brought it over to Jeremy's house and said, "Hey, dude, let's see about cutting this up and making like a grill out of it. And so what happened is we cut the bottom of it off right on one of the little ridges, and then it ended up flipping around perfectly to sit on the top as a lid, and it fits perfectly a Weber 20-inch, 22-inch replacement grill. So he welded up some little tabs inside of it, bought a little Weber like 20-inch, 22-inch grill, put some handles on it and stuff, and basically,
what's up with those handles though? There's something special. They're a little different.
Oh yeah, the type of wood. I don't know if I can talk about that. I think it's a
Talk about it. I'll fight that. Talk about it.
This is behind the smoke. You gotta.
Manzanita works really well.
Oh, Manzanita. That's a beautiful tree.
That's a works really tree. Well. And it still holds up. And in fact, the handles that are on the smoker today are still from the original branch I cut down.
Man, I haven't seen a Manzanita in so long.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
They're pretty local
where you guys are at. Yeah, because out in Warner Springs, where my grandfather, we had a house out there, and we go out there on the weekends. But yeah, Manzanita were everywhere.
Yeah,
I actually haven't even thought about that tree in a long fucking time.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd little bush tree thing, but
it's really cool when you see it.
It's really cool, and yeah, the handles still sit on that old ugly drum that we created. They're still, they handle the weather good. Not split or anything. They're still good.
That's rad.
Yeah.
And then my little backyard fire pit was the same diameter also as the 55-gallon drum. So we were cooking on that. We'd start a fire on that and literally just set bricks up around on top of it. Pick up the whole thing, set it on top. So it was kind of like a direct, but we had a good amount of distance between the coals and all that. And
that'd be pretty fucking heavy though.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty thin wall.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, because the one section that, you'd be picking up, it about that long, and then the lid on it sat, about so high on top of it. But, and then one desert trip, we took it out there, and
that was the christening.
Yeah, and that's seriously...
How long ago was that?
So it was about 7 years ago when we...
So you guys were already going out to the desert?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You were already barbecuing together, grilling.
I mean,
basic burgers and dogs and ruining anything better,
Nothing crazy, but just real basic stuff. And then we took it out there and literally dug a hole out in the dirt, took a bunch of the wood and coals from our fire that we made, built it all up, set the whole thing over it, dug some little airways down the side in the dirt, and we packed that thing full of some ribs, a whole chicken,
tri-tips on there.
Tri-tips.
You guys did that on your first?
That was the first time we'd ever used it.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we had no
hot
idea.
dogs and hamburgers. And
we had
let's
no
go.
idea what we were doing.
Let's do every meat in the event, right? Everything.
Yeah, and I kid you not. I mean, it was one of the best stuff we ever made.
Really?
We were blown away, and I remember his dad was out there, and we couldn't stop eating it, and everyone at the camp, just was raving about it. And
Had you cooked ribs before? No?
I haven't. I don't think so.
Fuck yeah. That's great.
Yeah, we joked that the barbecue gods had bit us that day right there.
Right. No, absolutely. I
And
mean,
Andy, were you out there at this
I wasn't.
time?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, I've only been out, I think, to the desert once with these guys, I think, for his bachelor party. Before he
Bachelor party in the desert.
Yeah, that's a whole
We'll learn about that later.
fuck me.
But, no, yeah, I really once they brought that back from the desert, and then they started kind of making barbecue on the regular at their house, and it was like every weekend we'd go over there, Big Ugly Drum would come out. All right, cool, we're doing ribs this weekend. We're doing, we're going to do a pork butt. We're going to do a tri-tip. And then I think that's when we kind of got the idea. About that time was when what's the show?
Pitmasters.
Pitmasters was on,
Uh-huh.
and it was like
That was huge. Like,
oh yeah, for us it blew us away at that point. We were like, all right, I want to do that. You're trying these different types of meat, ribs, tri-tip. You're like, all right, let's do this. So that's kind of
Were you guys using any particular wood at the time, or were you just wherever you could find?
Most.
Yeah.
oak I would find, or we'd get from
He had a
tree
good
or
enough
something.
job that he got to walk canals and things up in the rural
yeah.
areas of Valley Center and find down trees, and here you go, free firewood.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it worked out in our favor.
Yeah,
great.
especially if it's been there for a while, nice and seasoned. And
Yeah.
Cool.
So then were you guys only cooking when you guys went out there, or did you meet up like different times? Like how did did the fire start burning hot, I guess? And, you get into the KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society
It was
contest.
watching BBQ Pitmasters.
Really?
I'll never forget.
First season or
I
one of
couldn't
those
tell you.
seasons?
It was one of
Yeah.
those seasons. I mean, it was, like I said, it was big, like, then and more
And that-
popular.
That's one of the best things about the world that we're going into, the digital world, where everything is on demand. So whatever you
Right.
love to do,
Yeah.
like you don't have to hear about a show like Pitmasters and then find it on your, satellite TV, direct TV, Cox. You have to find out what time it's on, DVR it, which you couldn't even do before. Like it was so many barriers. Now, if you want to fucking find it, you can fucking get it on
right
demand.
now,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then me, my wife, and roommate at the time, John, good buddy, we're sitting there watching it, and we all kind of look at each other like, God, we should do something like this. We should try putting on our own event. And and so
Famous last words.
so call up all my buddies that we're all messing around barbecuing and stuff, and these guys and some other friends, and we literally had like a little meeting. Remember that in the backyard? Say, hey, kind of got this idea. What if we do this? We all have our own teams. We could do it here at my house, and we'll start asking people around to be the guest judges, so on and so forth, and just kind of do like a friendly competition, and so we all can have fun, get our feet wet, and then charge people some money to buy a plate. And at that time we served beer too at the house, but
We'll get into the liquor license later.
but yeah, we called it the Smoke and Grill Barbecue event. We made.
When was this? What year?
It was 2012 was the first one we did.
2012. Okay.
And,
At your house?
Yeah, at my house.
How many people?
100 people.
How'd you get people to come?
So
Marketing.
we made flyers up, and we had 5 teams.
Who made the flyers?
I think my wife did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like stuff like this is important for people that they want to get involved because they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And like it starts with an idea, it starts with the seed, but then you need to figure out, okay, what are we doing?
Right.
And what do we call it?
Right.
So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
what do we call it? Now that's going to be your brand, and then you're
Right.
going to move your brand. But hey, maybe somebody's not good with social media. Is there a wife? Is there somebody that we can count on that can help us,
Yeah.
get the shit that we need to get 100 people to this event?
Right. And
So whose wife was it?
that was my wife.
Yeah.
And so basically we printed out these flyers, and we figured out that if we gave 5 flyers to each team, 5 teams, and each flyer counted for at least 2 guests. So go around to, your friends, promote it, so we can kind of get a head count of, how much, meat to have and all that, and how many people were to expect, but kind of an invite only. And I think it worked pretty well. I mean, it was pretty spot on. We had,
How did it cost for them to come to the event
what did we do?
$10
$10?
$10, you get a wristband and kind of all you can eat sort of thing. And
Yeah.
and drink?
And drink.
And drink,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we made a run back to the store a couple times
Yeah.
for beers.
There
We
you
were,
go.
running, we were
Awesome.
running out kind of
Awesome.
We went
quick.
pretty late. And then my cousin, who's in a band at the time, and got him, same thing. Like, hey, you guys want to come play? Like, we'll give you food and stuff and beer. And so
Sure.
had a band back there.
Awesome.
And we're all set up.
How many teams?
5.
5 teams?
5 teams of 2.
Yeah,
5 teams of 2. And were you guys a team, or were you?
It's funny. We were all different
We're all
teams.
separate.
We were
No
all on
way.
different teams.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was with my buddy Pete. He was with his roommate John, and you
I was
were
with Warren.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
with Warren.
And,
So
and you guys figured out that the blood types are right here, and not as much as we love the other guys.
yeah,
Kind of where it worked
They
out.
just weren't
yeah, it kind of worked out that
It's a
way.
special kind of
Oh.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
a special kind of crazy that we talk about. Yeah.
No
I've
doubt.
got a lot of amazing friends, but none of them would deal with me the way Derek does.
totally.
Nice.
And so that first year, man, it was a hit. It was fun. We had a lot of fun, and everyone loved it too, as far as us guys cooking.
How did you do the judging?
Well, I think we were soliciting people prior to come to be a judge, which a lot of people, definitely volunteered for that. And then we printed out some basic guidelines and
Just Google search.
yeah, and then had them, go over it with them the day of, and we basically tried copying it as much as we could with
Sure.
what was on TV with the turning boxes and all that, and time, and
Man, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Who would want to do that?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was
It's
fun.
good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good. And I bet you it taught you a lot too. Things like that actually are what's gonna put you a little bit above everybody else that hasn't done something like that. Throw an event. People don't understand what goes into throwing an event. So how many times do you guys do this?
Unfortunately, 2.
Yeah.
But
It takes a lot of time and effort, and
Yeah.
I don't know what stopped you guys.
Location.
like babies,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Baby kids. Yeah.
Kids.
Life.
Life,
Yeah, life
Yeah.
kind of gets in the way, but it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you really have to have the right team involved, and everyone's got to we have kids, and
Yeah.
if our wives weren't allowing us to do it, and it's a lot of fucking work, and it's not just one day; it's multiple days of doing stuff. And for us doing the KCBS and the Spring Valley one, it's year round.
Yeah.
I mean literally.
We were here. We were at the office last night.
Yeah,
wrapping
just-
up both events, and we're not even anywhere close. It's because we have to plan for next year. We have to figure out what we can do better. How we can bring in different sponsors. How
Team
we can add
meetings
value.
and- yeah,
How we can add
exactly.
value to the teams.
And we have to be honest with ourselves and say, what do we do wrong?
Yeah.
Why didn't people come to the event?
Yeah.
And see, okay, what can we do better to draw more people? And it's a hard thing sometimes to kind of take that look at yourself and be like, fuck, we kind of fucked that up, or we can do this a lot better. But it's good because, like I said, we're the same blood type, Sean and I, so it allows us to say, I can tell Sean, like, no, that wasn't right. We shouldn't have done that, or we should do this. We should actually capitalize on this. And he can say the same thing. We don't take it personal. It's like,
The most important thing with any team, with any relationship, I mean, it's one of the things that I go over when I'm interviewing people to come work at the restaurant. We go over in orientation is communication, and if there's not open communication, if there's no level of trust, I can't read anybody's mind, but, there's going to be times when Derek and I don't agree, and I need him to tell me before he starts thinking about it. If it doesn't feel right, he needs to tell me.
Yep.
And I don't care if it's at 1 a.m. and he's up thinking about it, let me know, because, ultimately it's just going to keep brewing, and everything has to be out on the table.
well, I'm pretty vomit of the mouth anyways. So it usually comes out pretty organically with me.
Yeah.
So that's
my Eastern European wife. She has no problem being transparent. There's zero filter. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of used to it. I got tough skin. You got to be able to deal
That's
with
a
it.
good thing, though.
That's always good,
I mean,
yeah.
you want to make sure that nobody's holding any resentment, or
Well, I mean, it's crazy because there's stupid shit that, like, everything. You have to be willing to say things that you don't know. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to ask questions. Don't just accept it at face value. Maybe there's something that one of your teammates, is thinking about, or you're like, dude, hey, that was fucked up. I don't think we should, display, our banner. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's as small as like a banner location, because that shit will build up. I promise you. I mean, we've seen it happen. So
Let me
No, you're
bring up
right.
Banner location.
hey, let's go back
did
to
I
your,
hit a nerve?
Yeah, Spring Valley BBQ. We got to work on our checklist. We didn't bring our banner.
Oh, you didn't bring your banner.
So we had flags. We still have our skeletons on our menu,
Yeah.
and hung a shirt and stuff up. But we pulled the bonehead and we didn't grab the tube with the banner.
Yeah. So let's get to how did we come up with Yardpirates BBQ?
Yardpirates.
Yardpirates.
Yard.
So the story is my brother and his partner and longtime friend with the bike shop,
What bike shop?
Hidden Valley Bicycles. in
Still there?
Escondido. Oh yeah,
He owns it.
yeah. My brother and Sam do.
Okay.
Yeah, they took it over about 10 years ago.
Is that the
something like
bike
that.
shop to go to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Little mom and pop store.
Awesome.
And
been there for
Yep.
Rad.
almost
now it's
60 years.
BMX or is it
They mostly
motorcycle?
BMX, but they have everything for bicycle wise. They kind of
fabricate.
no,
No?
mostly just maintenance and sales of parts and bicycles and things like that. But yeah, they don't get into the crazy $10,000 mountain bike things, or it's just
That was a trip. The first
Good
time
old
my
bike
buddy,
store.
he's like, "Hey, I traded this motorcycle for this. It was like I don't know, Cannondale or what. I don't know what it was called. And it was a mountain bike, and it was like $6,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
You gotta be
crazy.
fucking kidding me!
$6,000.
Like I'd be pushing down the hill for fucking $10. You don't need that fucking bike.
shit. I went opposite of that. My first dirt bike was got by trading a BMX bike for it. So.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So the bike shop.
Yeah, and then where Sam lived at the time, I distinctly remember my brother's 15 years older than me, so I was a lot younger hanging out with him some years ago. But I distinctly remember driving by this house that was on the corner from Sam's place, and he's like, "Check that out! these old guys are always sitting in the front yard there underneath that tree, and they're like yard pirates, and then drinking beer, and every time you drive by, they just raise their hand, and it's like, just picture them going, "Arr," you know?
That's fucking hilarious.
I love it.
So that stuck for, that was a long time ago, and then we kind of like started adopting it ourselves. So like, hey, let's go yard partying, and we'd go hang out in the front yard with friends, kids, drink some beers, play games, whatever, listen to music, and then our backyard, hey, let's go yard pirate or something, and then it kind of basically stuck. And then when we did the first
I love it.
event at the house, I'm like, well, I'm gonna name my team Yardpirates BBQ, and then we all had our own names and all that, and then but yeah, that's basically what it was, and it's kind of like a thing we adopted as a lifestyle. That's what we do. Yard pirates, we camp, we hang out, we're family, we barbecue. We have get-togethers, and so it's been a trip though. How, like you always talk about a brand, how that name, the logo, and just what it's become, and
it's become a lifestyle. I mean, it's become what you guys do, what gets you fired up, what you're thinking about when you're doing other things. You're like, oh, well, maybe we can do that next time, and like those are the things that excite Derek and I. I mean, for us to build Del Mar BBQ State Championship, how do we make that just the premier fucking KCBS event on the West Coast? What do we have to do to do that?
That's literally what we think about all the time too. It's like, we don't want to be just another event. We want to be the event. We want to be the fucking Jack Daniels. How do we get there? And it's what burns, keeps fueling our fire. It's like. Yeah. I tease a lot, but I get obsessive about things, and it happens in every single thing I've done, whether it be from, playing sports. I had to be the best, and I'd work hard, and then, became an All-American, played in the NFL, did all that stuff. And then when I came to, doing beer, I had to become a Cicerone and figure out, like, what's going on. But it's just what fuels me. Like, I have to, like, continue to have this goal to obtain, or else, when I become stagnant, I suck. I know I do. Yeah. So it's like, I always have to keep going, and that's what we all, that's who we are. It's in what we want to do.
Like Jeremy, for as long as I've known him, and then us doing this whole barbecue thing, and then numerous times I'll call him during the day or something, or he'll call me, and it's, hey, I got this idea or something, or, what about this? And I know he can't turn his brain off.
No.
Nonstop.
No, I mean, it's, like that becomes your think tank. That becomes the people that you trust, the people that like, hey, this is funny shit. Like, you got to see this. Like, hey, dude, you got to fucking see this. I don't care. You're at a wedding. I don't care. I'm sending it to you,
Well, then Andy,
turn the volume down.
Not appropriate for work.
And then Andy, jumping on board with us and helping and all that. And it's same thing, it's we have this constant, like, text message going around or something, about barbecuing or event, or hey, this class is coming up, and so it's cool, man. The dynamic, like you said, between each other and the passion of it.
It's not just between each other; it's between your guys' families, right? Because the families become closer because they were down here for Spring Valley Barbecue Festival. They were at Del Mar, and interwoven in what you do, it becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, it's a sickness.
It's not compartmentalized.
Yeah.
It's who you are, and it's what you do.
It's funny because like, I can remember, like, it's almost like pre-barbecue. Like, what did I used to do before barbecue? And it's funny because you look at my Facebook feed, my Instagram feed, my searches on Craigslist, or I mean, I'm always looking for a new smoker. I mean, at one point I went and got a new Oklahoma Joe, and I got a matching one. I'm out there taking pictures of it. My wife walks out, and I hadn't told her that I bought this thing.
Are you cheating on me?
And she's like,
it's just a smoker.
Wait, there's two of them now? She's like, what are you going to do with two smokers? I'm like, well, I can only fit like 3 racks of ribs and a brisket in this one. I'm not going to have enough room. And
honey, don't you understand this?
Right, yeah.
This is a big fucking problem.
Exactly. So, I mean, what was it, first day of the NFL this year, I've been looking for a Lang. Like, that was like my,
what you wanted to do.
I wanted a Lang smoker so bad, and I've been just looking nonstop online for them, and they're made out of, Georgia, and to get them on the West Coast, I mean, it's like $500 or $600 just to get those shipped. And I found one in Arizona, so I called up my dad. I'm like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? like, I just found my smoker. We're doing a round trip. I mean, I left at 4 o'clock in the morning, didn't get home till 8 at night just to pick up a smoker.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a sickness. I mean, once it gets into your blood,
once it gets into your blood, once we converted our restaurant fully into a barbecue restaurant, we started buying wood by the cord, which I didn't have a fucking clue what a cord of wood was. Back to a Google search, and Gene, so fortunate to have Gene as a mentor to tell me, teach me, Derek, ask us all these different questions. I mean, I had to have asked Gene hundreds of thousands of questions, but he's so willing to give an answer. Yeah. And there's the additional answers that you can find on the internet. So we find this wood. It's we need pecan wood. Yeah. Where are we going to go get pecan wood? We look all up and down California. We couldn't find pecan wood. We ended up, it was me and my brother taking my father-in-law, who doesn't speak a word of English. He only speaks Bulgarian. My brother-in-law, who doesn't speak any English, only Bulgarian. Me and my brother driving my 4Runner, my father-in-law, brother-in-law in the back. We drive from San Diego, 3 a.m. we left, get out to Phoenix. Phoenix loaded up, I believe it was I want to say almost 3 cords of wood into the biggest U-Haul possible. Yeah. And then I drive the U-Haul with my father-in-law from fucking Phoenix back to Cali Comfort.
For wood. Just for wood.
Yeah. We don't talk about shit, but we all loaded up the wood. My brothers followed back. We get back and then we load it. It's like a Friday night. The restaurant's packed. And we've got this huge fucking U-Haul. It's like, are we seriously doing this for wood? We are. Right. We're all in. Yep. It's sick. At that point, we're all in. And you're like, holy shit, I just fucking spent, 20 hours of a day just to load all this wood to get it back here because it means that much to what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so the 2 events, who are the winners?
The 2 events that you guys threw at your house.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I didn't win shit.
This guy's got Garrett's got some cute little trophies from those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny. All the trophies that we made were a lot of my trophies growing up, like my old soccer trophies.
That I like how you roll.
I hoarded and stuff. And I remember we made the grand champion or best overall or something out of this, it was like an American flag looking trophy thing. And I think we got it for first place or something when I was a kid in soccer. And it's so weird. I had an attachment still to it. And it's like, God, I still like that trophy for some reason. All those years hoarding it. And then the wife, she went and got little animals, little plastic animals and stuff that were glued to the tops of them, like pig or cow and all that, and then actually had the little plaques made and put on the bottom and stuff. Cool. But God, I don't know. I mean, I think our team won the best overall.
Overall, yeah.
Something, yeah. I know I didn't win shit. So.
Both our teams didn't fare too well.
So then what made you guys think, okay, let's get together now, let's do the competition? In your first event, talk about your first event doing it. Was it an amateur event? Was it a KCBS event?
It was KCBS. It was Vista.
Kansas City Barbecue Society.
Vista 2014.
2014.
Garrett asked me, hey, you want to go in? You want to go?
So this asshole was on the internet Googling a bunch of shit. He's Googling a bunch of shit. He's like, hey, this is in our backyard. This was made for us.
Let's go do a KCBS comp. Hey, when we're there, let's do the PC too, because that's
first event, and you did PC.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, it was an interesting weekend.
I would imagine you weren't prepared.
Not even close.
Right.
Was it just you two?
It was the 2 of us. We had our friend Jason hop in and help us, and the women brought the kids that day thinking, we're just going to hang out.
Yeah,
sure.
You're working.
Got thrown right into service. We didn't expect it. We figured, we can deal with it. You guys just have fun. But yeah, it was quickly realized that
you were with the big boys.
You're going to have to step in. You're going to have to help us.
Talk about the load-in, because I think the load-in, at least for us, when we first competed up at Smoking in the Park, when we loaded in, I realized, oh, fuck, what did we just get ourselves into?
Most definitely had that thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have a big toy hauler, and this fucking thing is just a boat. And so it's always, nerve-wracking to take it anywhere, and where the hell are we going to park it? So I was, kind of freaking out a little bit over that. And then he always, so that's another thing too. Like we talk about, he always calms me down. Jeremy doesn't.
Yeah.
This guy gets a little anxiety sometimes. Right at that point when you need to like pull it together.
Yeah.
I've had
Hey,
that
that's what a good team. That's what a good team.
Well, there's
is.
a handful of times where I'm like, "Hey, Jeremy, you just need to tell me right now everything's gonna be okay." And no joke, it's happened a handful of times.
Yeah. We pulled it out every time though.
Oh yeah, every time, right? Right at the very end when it finally comes together and serving.
So which pit were you using at that first
That
count?
time,
All of different
a
ones.
couple backyard style. side
The original
fire.
drum?
No, we didn't
No?
use that. No, we had at that point. I think I had my side fire old like hand me down charbroil
yeah.
thing, and he had you had your side fire.
Yeah, it was like from Lowe's or something. Was
So
it
you've
Brinkman?
already
I
been.
think it was your
something,
Brinkman.
Yeah.
You had already been collecting.
Yeah, no, I started collecting,
Little,
and then it also, same thing with the wife was like, do we need another one? So you're gonna get rid of one?
It's my Christmas gift.
I'm like, well, I can't get rid of.
I won't buy anything else.
the ugly
Just let me
drum.
get the
Right.
smoker.
Yeah, yeah. She's like,
Gift
whatever.
cards. We bought
Yeah.
it with gift cards. It's
Yeah.
totally cool. I
It's
didn't
totally
use
cool.
cash.
Yeah,
It was just-
exactly.
Oh man!
And we cooked on.
I won't get any clothes for 5 years. Just
Yeah.
Let me get the smoker.
What do we have? Three backyard
I think
ones,
3 of them going. Yeah,
and then the
that's it.
charcoal grill.
charcoal for direct fire. Yeah,
And then you had the easy up, or did you have?
we had
Yeah.
just
You had it from
easy up
from camping.
Yeah, just for shade. We
Yep.
did have. Did we have the banner made for that
Yes.
year? We had
Yeah.
the banner that year. Yeah.
How were they on sidewalls then? Make
No,
you
they
use
didn't
sidewalls?
push the sidewalls until this
last
actual
year.
year.
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
that, we've never had to worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, I
No.
mean, at that first one, we didn't even know what we didn't know what chafing dishes and things
Yeah.
like that. We didn't have any of that.
Oh,
we had a like a Camp Chef 3-burner stove, and we set that up and kept
Sure.
burners going, and
Sure.
that's how kind of we kept our food hot. And,
Well, we did do those
Yeah.
cheap aluminum ones and all
Yep.
that.
Oh, yeah.
but they kept burning out.
They were so
and,
bad.
it was horrible.
No.
It's incredible what you realize when you. I mean, when you first start, you just have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like you have to
Yeah.
get over the fear. You have to get over the cost because all that shit is very expensive. We have Gene Gorkacek, who's his mentorship. He wants the best because he knows, and he's already been on the other side where he had shitty stuff, and he was like, "Well, no, like I want the Cambro. I want the Yeti cooler. I want the best fucking thing because I know that that's going to be the best." But sometimes that's just not in your startup budget, and you just got to fucking get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can't be a hurdle for you not getting out there to do it because you did it is why you guys are even here,
Right.
right? I mean, that's
100%. Yeah, and anybody that's looking to, start out and like buy their first pit, I mean, my suggestion, Craigslist.
Yeah.
Look for, I still do it right now. I can't stop. And my wife freaking hates me. But the old Oklahoma Joes, they're made out of 1/4-inch steel. They weigh about 300 pounds, but it's a generational smoker. I mean, we laugh because we load this like, oh, it's not going to be that heavy. It's like, it takes 3 people to lift this thing up in your trailer. But if you're out there looking for something to get started on with an old school stick burner, get an Okie Joe. You can find them on Craigslist. They got the gold insignia right on the lid, not the newer ones that are built in China. Those are like, if you're going to get started, something like that, you can get them for like $100. A lot of people are willing to let them go because they look bad, but yeah, it's
That's it's Kansas City Joe's now. You know that?
the Kansas City Joe.
Oklahoma Joe's is now when they switched over. So Oklahoma Joe's
Yeah.
was actually in Kansas City, and
the restaurant.
The restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
they started out in Oklahoma. Then they went to Kansas City. Kansas City, where they're at with the gas station, the famous one is in Kansas City. So then there's some type of issue with the name, and then they got. Okay, well then we'll just go to Kansas City Joe's, and then Oklahoma Joe's. When it switched, is when they went to those shitty.
Yeah, because I
barbecues.
think they were in like New Braunfels bought them from Char Grill, I kind of did a little bit of research on them, but yeah, if you can find some of the older ones that are like 10, 15 years old, they're out there. You can find them. My Craigslist search is like all of
Everywhere.
California.
willing to make a drive for
Right,
that piece,
yeah.
or-
I've sent my dad out
Midwest.
to Joshua Tree to go pick one up for.
Have you
$100
been on the Facebook group, the custom pits for sale?
Oh,
It's like-
I'm on so many of those
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah,
I mean, they have some good Facebook stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. The Facebook, even the Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
another
it's gotten
extension.
much better.
You go on that, and you'll be surprised what people
For sure.
people will post.
So how many teams were at the Vista competition in 2014?
Ooh, that was a big year for him.
50,
I think back then,
60?
something like that.
I think
Yeah,
it was
a lot of
60
teams.
something. Yeah, it was
there was a
huge.
lot.
And
How many PC samples did you guys have to give out?
I don't even remember like a vague.
I'd imagine you
idea
ran
of
out
how
pretty
many.
quick.
We ran out on that one, I think. Yeah, and
we?
yeah.
what did we get back? Like 400 or something? 500?
Dude, it was such a vapor trail in my mind.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was busy.
Yeah, I laugh because we got a picture of me and Garrett and the guy Jason that helped us out, all standing there holding our backs and our feet
Yeah.
afterwards because we didn't realize how sore and
Taxing
how
it is,
busy
yeah.
worked we were going to be.
Yeah, you
Like,
leave
"Oh,
it all.
it's just
You
barbecue,
leave
it's
it
no
all on
big
the
deal,
field.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
So
hurting.
what? Who did I talk to, and what did you think of me when I came up?
When the first
when I came
When
up
you
and
caught us
when
at
I met
Vista,
you guys
Jeremy.
up in Vista.
yeah,
You guys were busy as
we were
shit.
busy, and I was like,
And this fucking
afterwards,
asshole, this guy's
yeah,
coming here.
dude,
What does he
yeah.
want?
Just like, yeah, let me, I'll talk
Snake
real quick.
oil salesman.
About 30 minutes later, I realized I was like, fuck. I should have like stopped what I was doing and like actually had a chat and
No,
you know,
dude,
whatever,
you were
know?
totally doing your thing, and nobody understands that like Derek and I.
Yeah.
I mean, we fucking get it, from an event standpoint, from running your thing, like we totally get it. And I just went up there to do background to see, if there were any teams, if teams knew about the KCBS event, the Del Mar event that we were putting on. Who did I talked to
It
you?
was me, yeah, and we had heard about it from the previous year. One of our friends, was it 2 Live Q?
Yeah.
2 Live
We
Q.
had met them. They were right next to us that first year in what was it, 2014 when we did the Vista barbecue. They were right next
Mm-hmm.
to us, and so we kind of, chummed it up up with them, and we,
I mean, that's the cool thing about comps.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
you're competing against somebody, but really they become your family because you
everybody's
see them.
buddies.
You
Yeah.
see them
Yeah.
on the road. You see them at
Everybody's
different
cool.
contests.
It was their first one, and it was our first
right
one.
on.
So every year we see him, or at Del Mar we see him. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
I remember hearing him talk about that they did your first Del Mar one, and they
Mm-hmm.
were like, dude, we're going to go back this year. You guys got to do it. And then when you come up and, kind of suggested it to us, like, didn't really think about it. We had already felt busy because, this year for Vista, we made a push. Every year after 2014, we joked and we said, man, we got to build a bigger smoker. This working 3-4 fires thing, trying to get
It's hard,
enough
man.
food,
Yeah.
it
It's
sucks.
really
we got to build
hard.
something. And then we sat on our hands for a year, and then
Well,
the next
especially
one
because
comes
you guys are
around
doing
and-
PC. I mean, you're doing
Yeah.
People's Choice, and
Oh,
you're, trying to turn in for the KCBS comp
Right.
Yeah.
to the different turn-in times and make sure that you have enough
Yep.
food to put out.
I
for
think
sure.
2016 Vista, I think we had 6 fires going, 6 different grills
Wow.
back there.
a
All
lot of
and all
fire.
packed to the gills with food, and we were selling out of it still.
Yeah.
And so early this year, we finally decided to take the bull by the horns, if you will, and go on and build the smoker. And so we had some propane tanks that I had obtained a while back, and one of them was just in real bad shape, really rusty and calloused, and I didn't want to put the fab work and the money and materials into something that the shell may not last very well, you know.
Right.
So Garrett started searching metal shops to have a piece rolled. He lucked out and he found a big 9-foot
guy
section.
called.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
In
9
Vista.
foot long, 3/8 diameter, 3/8 diameter. That wouldn't cook very much. 3/8 wall, 36-inch diameter pipe, and had concrete lined inside. So we busted the concrete out, cleaned everything out, and started just kind of game planning in my mind every time I'm laying in bed waiting
Yeah.
to go to sleep, keeping myself up for an extra hour or 4,
Sure.
designing it
Right.
in my mind before I've ever cut a piece, and then putting it on paper, and finally we just started rolling
Isn't
with
that
it.
the
He had a
exciting
donor
part,
trailer.
though?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean,
that's
as much as it's like, fuck, dude, am I seriously wide awake at night? Like,
Uh-huh.
but that's the part where you're thinking the most, you're growing the most
Embrace
because,
that,
like, you're
man.
like,
It's so
dude, I
much-
can't wait to
yeah.
fucking see the guys. I
Totally.
can't wait to show them. Like, now I can't wait to fire it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
ecstatic.
can't wait to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it took us 3 months or so through the spring of almost every day after work, every free weekend day up there at his shop, cutting, welding. It's amazing how many grinder wheels and grinders you go through trying to cut through 3/8 metal and cut some doors out of the thing,
I imagine.
Yeah, I had a friend who does water jetting, so I had him cut out all of our end caps and our firebox pieces so we could kind of puzzle it together. And it worked out good. And I mean, honestly, it wasn't rushed, but we got it done a week prior to Vista Classic, to where we fired it up that weekend to test run it, and the thing, dude, it pulls perfect. It draws air like. You can stand next to it when it's got a fire and you hear the fire.
'Cause you guys had it out
rolling.
at-
We had it at Vista.
Yeah,
That was its
that's right.
maiden
Yeah.
voyage.
Yeah.
We had cooked a little bit on it prior to that, but then we filled it to the gills there at Vista, and it cooked everything really well. And man, we're stoked on how.
Did I oversell you on Del Mar?
No.
Because
We had leftover food, but what's funny is we had a lot of ribs, and we're kind of thinking maybe the Del Mar people, everybody's dressed nice and pretty. They didn't want to. They don't want to get dirty with the ribs. They want single samples and stuff like that, Whereas Spring Valley, we couldn't keep the ribs in.
Yeah.
They are going like crazy. Everybody wanted the ribs. So it's just, that's one of those things like you guys learned, I'm sure, learning your market and seeing what people desire at each location and kind of modifying your thing for the next year from there.
Have you guys modified your smokers since you guys did the,
No.
first initial?
No,
you
that
kept
thing,
it how it is? And
yeah, it's
do you have any fans on it? Or is it
no,
nothing?
No fans. I use the, what is it, the Felden's BBQ calculator website, and I just put in all of our measurements and it kicked back. This is how big of a pipe you need. This is how big your intake needs to be. This is how big your firebox needs to be.
Where was this at?
Felden's BBQ calculator. I think it's a website, and it's basically.
Well, we'll put that in the show notes.
It's a real good tool.
Any kind of good resource that we can find. It's our job to get it to the listeners.
It's huge.
Because
it's huge.
You guys have actually used it.
Oh yeah, I found it from, like I said, Facebook groups of barbecues and stuff, and people asking questions, and everybody always throws people to this Felden's thing. And
we'll be sure to put that in the show notes for people to
awesome.
check out.
I mean, I followed their stuff real close to a T of what they said our space and our size should be for what we were working with, and man, the thing draws like you wouldn't believe. It's reverse flow. This is the first time we've ever messed with a reverse flow too. We just kind of said we've heard and the research of people's we've seen.
Another thing
is just awesome.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. There's always that
before.
too. Just all in. Let's just try it.
Well, did you guys place? I mean, what did you guys get in the first Vista? How many teams were you in the top half? Were you in the bottom half?
Our placements in Vista have been horrendous as far as comp wise. I think our best one we did was we got 24th in brisket out of like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And
then how are you guys doing your meat? How are you doing your meats? Is there one person that does a specific meat, or are you kind of
delegate as we go? Mostly, it depends who's there helping. It definitely helps when we got Andy to count on, because most of the time Garrett and I will handle the brunt of the trimming and seasoning and stuff like that, and we'll have whoever else would help us at that time to just do the bitch work, if you will.
Chicken skins. Fucking chicken skins.
Andy took on the chicken now, which is awesome. Because that's the other thing too. We always talk about, okay, now we got a big smoker. Let's try to concentrate on comp stuff more. Maybe that's another funny thing. Now let's maybe bring a couple different other smokers just strictly for comp. And like, here we go again. We're fucking back to square one.
Right.
Yeah. But actually, it wasn't until Del Mar, right?
Yeah.
Del Mar, we finally started really concentrating on competition. Yeah, and we all know competition, is a whole nother beast.
Kansas City Barbecue Society. I mean, the reason why it's a worldwide organization is because of the respect that they have for the process. Like, if there's no process, if there's no level playing field, like, these are the rules. Some people don't agree with the rules, whatever that is, but this is what it is. So these are certified judges that are coming out. It's a certified contest. We have, as organizers, we have rules that we have to abide by to make sure that it is a sanctioned KCBS event. But the coolest thing about it is how many events there are once you start getting into it, and you realize it's really a circuit.
Right. It's a hobby like anything else. I love going riding my dirt bike. There's people that every weekend they're loading their smokers up, and how far are we going to drive this weekend to go do this? It's the same. It's what fuels people. It's awesome.
How much have your recipes changed from day when you guys first started? Is it similar? Are you guys trying to change recipes at all, or are you guys trying to change cook times or cook methods?
I think we're just honing it,
fine-tuning and
honing.
Yeah. We use a couple commercial rubs for some things, and then we make our own for some of our pork stuff. We make for our own, especially for the PC stuff. We just a bunch of our own components and mix them up, and that's what we do in our shoulders and our ribs. And then for the comp stuff, we use a little different stuff.
What kind of brisket are you using? Choice Prime,
the cheapest one.
Costco. What's funny is the 24th, our best, if you will, which it's like that doesn't even sound like it's good, but out of 50 something people, when you have people buying,
you take your fucking wins where you
Hey, so
I don't even know if we placed in Smoking in the Park. Fuck, my brother, bless his heart, I love Tommy Boy, but shit, man. I think he turned in like 4 ribs in a box, and then was like, I'll just add 2 ribs to the chicken box. I'm like, don't. No, dude.
It doesn't work like that.
No, bro. It doesn't work like that.
But yeah, that was a military commissary brisket, so it was just
Yeah.
basic as basic can be, and we haven't quite stepped out to where we're doing the big money stuff, but I think our skills are ready to take it on.
I don't even know necessarily if you need to do it for PC or anything.
No,
you can
just for
keep
comp.
your PC as choice or
Exactly.
whatever you want to do. But for the competition brisket, I mean, it truly is a cut above. If you're going to really want to compete and do it, getting a prime or a wagyu, brisket, and before doing that, you have to understand they cook way different.
Right.
Their stalls are different on a wagyu and that they are on a regular choice and the primes and the fat content. They cook a little bit faster. I remember that first time I did a wagyu, we got an Akaushi one, and I'm like, I do mine by time, and then every time I go check the temperature and feel right. So I do all those things, and I'm like. Before I knew it, I'm like, holy fuck, this thing fucking feels done. It's like 2 or 3 hours before it's supposed to be done. I pulled it off and it was fucking completely done.
Wow.
It just, you have to be careful with those things. But I would say if you're going to do it, I would definitely, the organic chickens, I was the biggest skeptic of that. The Petaluma poultry ones, they are so much better than just a regular chicken. And I'm like, dude, no fucking way. I'm not bringing a product in. This is like 4 years ago before I'd bring the product in my store. I'm like, there's no fucking way. I won't do it. He's like, hey, I'm going to send you down a box. Just try it. And we tried it and I'm like, God damn, that shit's really, really good. It was just a lot better. It just tasted just more pure than, and I don't know if that's the right word, but it was just a lot better chicken and pork. You can get some Duroc pork and try those things. You don't have to do it for PC again. Buy whatever the fuck you
for
want
comp
for that.
turning's good.
We always ran into every year we're talking like, okay, let's set some money aside and buy some good cuts of meat. I'm like, well, shit, we're already like $700,000-$800,000 into this,
Right.
Yep.
and we're like, well, screw it, we won't do it. Next year, and because we started out basically it was 50-50 with me and Jeremy. Everything. Okay, we both put in the same amount of money, and then basically we don't pay ourselves back after each competition. We just bank the money.
Yep.
To where we built up a decent little savings,
Little float,
and then every year it would roll over to where okay, now we have the buy-in. That's not out of pocket. Maybe just like a couple $100 out of pocket.
We want a banner.
Yeah, exactly.
We want shirts. Yeah. No, all that
Yeah.
stuff. If it's not in the budget, it all adds up.
Sean and I did the same thing. And like year one, I think we both put in like $5,000 for all of our stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like, okay, that should go a long way. Then all of a sudden it was gone. You're like, fuck, how'd that just fucking happen?
Yeah.
It's and then we ran into a few years in Spring Valley where we had to put in more money because we got fucked by Tweedledee and Tweedledum over at, I don't even want to say it, but, then we had to put in more money. Then it's like, okay, fuck this. We're going to create a float. Here, we're going to create a bank account, and every time we're just going to put the money in there, and then we don't have to fucking worry about it anymore, And it's actually helped a lot, and it helps us. I know it helps my accountant. He's like, fucking thank God. Because you're fucking spending all this money. We don't, you're just wasting it away. Now we have at least somewhere where we're putting it.
So you guys have done some catering as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, well,
Couple events.
This year, it's so funny how this year is just blown up for
Been
us.
a lot busier. Yeah.
Right.
'Cause-
Well, it's blown up because you're getting involved.
Right.
It's like all those things when assholes like me come up to you and they're like, I don't know about this guy, but maybe we'll try it out. And then you go to Del Mar, and then you realize like when you're at Del Mar and you're selling food, you're like, people are like, hey, do you guys cater? Next thing you know, that's a lead. Now you're following up on a lead, and you're like, well, fuck, this will help that float. Exactly what Derek was talking about.
Right. Goes into the buy-in and meat and all that other shit.
So
I'll tell you what, Sean and I both know the money's in catering. There's no fucking question about it.
Yeah.
Even when you talk about $15 a person or whatever, $20 a person, you get to 100 people and you're like, this is how much I spend on my costs, and the rest is just kind of time. But we're not worried about time right now because we're trying to build the brand, so we don't even fucking try to monetize that.
Yeah, we're not paying ourselves for our time. It's just like
it's
that's extra
guaranteed
to put
per
back.
person.
Yeah,
Right.
vending
You're
sucks.
not vending.
Vending sucks,
Right.
but a true caterer. Where
Sometimes you have to vend to get catering, and that's that's just part of the deal.
Kind of a vicious
Well,
cycle.
it's kind of almost like running, doing PC, it's kind of like pseudo vending because you just don't know how many people are going to come. How much do we need to buy? Is that enough rack of ribs? Is that enough briskets?
That's a thing that we run into. Is like we don't have events unless people do PC. Yeah. It's like, how do we make that easier for everybody? That's one of our biggest things this year. It's like, we need to figure out how to make it easier for we want, to be honest, at Del Mar, we need fucking a lot more people to PC. We need to, because
that's why, bringing in restaurants like Grand Ole, bringing in Brazen, bringing in Coops, bringing in Corbin's, the more that our restaurants can support the event, the more likely it is Del Mar Thoroughbred Club is willing to have us come out there.
They don't have to have us.
Having teams out there that are just competing, that are taking up parking that nobody gets to see and no one gets to interact with, it really does. Economically, it doesn't make sense. And for us, we need to make it make sense for KCBS. It needs to be something that people want to get involved in. People like Big Green Egg, people like US Foods, all these people that are helping us support this event. It has to make sense in the big picture.
It has to add value to them.
Having guys like you that are so willing to help with PC really helps organizers out. Derek and I, we depend on you guys because we know that you guys are going to hold it down. When you guys came to Spring Valley, we knew that you guys were going to hold down wherever you were, wherever Bill put you on the map. We knew that that's not going to be a problem because we'd already worked with you guys up in Del Mar.
Yeah. What's funny is like we started the whole comp thing and everybody goes, "Oh, we're gonna try to do good in this competition, and I guess we'll do PC too." Well, over the years doing the Vista thing, and now with Del Mar and Spring Valley, we've actually taken a lot more home, like pride and mental happiness out of it from doing the PC.
Isn't that the truth?
From feeding people, and you get people that go, I've tried everybody else and I'm back and I've got this many tokens and give me whatever you want to give me because you had
the kids want to take a picture with your logo and your banner. That's the stuff that, it means the most. Yeah. It's not a fucking trophy. It's not money. It's 100%. Literally that it was that weekend where we sat there and, I was with my kid and my wife and, we bust our fucking ass. It was a lot of work and, we forgot this and we forgot that, but at the end of the day, we had just amazing interactions with people. They came in and they were digging the brisket this time. Absolutely digging it.
We just have to have a game plan on what you want to get out of everything. So what's your end goal? If your end goal is to, truly get the trophies, well, maybe PC isn't for you. And I get it. But a lot of those events that don't have PC aren't going to be around, because they have no value. They bring no value to other people.
Right.
But if you want, that you cannot buy when people come up and tell you like that is the best brisket I've ever had in my life, or that is the best. I've gone to every place here and that was the best. Give me more. Like that stuff is better than a fucking trophy. I don't care about that. So it's good for us to be able to talk to guys like you that get it because it's a bigger picture thing. It's not just about, hey, I'm first place. It's like, hey, it's about everybody else. We're here to serve and like do stuff. And you guys know all of our money that we get goes back to charities. We don't fucking capitalize on this. You're not seeing us throw up Cali Comfort BBQ everywhere and Valley Farm everywhere and Valley Farm Presents and Cali Comfort Presents because it's not about us. It's about a bigger picture. And when we find people like you, we really, really appreciate it, and then for you guys to take the time and be able to come down. I can't tell you how much it means to Sean and I, to see that.
We're honored.
For sure. And it means we go back to, the blood type and the attitude because all the events, they're all going to have a map. There's all going to be a load in. It's a stressful time to get, the organizer to get people loaded in, get the electricity up, get everything set up so that each team can get ready to compete, get to the cooks meeting, get ready for PC, do all the 5 million things that have to happen. But the people with the best attitudes, the teams with the best attitudes, for organizers, we notice who the rock stars are for us. Because they make the event for us. They literally make the event better for us.
Well, they're not creating more work for us.
That's exactly why. No, they're easing a burden on us. Like when we first brought in Coops and Brazen to Spring Valley, it was the best thing that we did because we knew that Coops, Brazen, both of their teams, they were going to be cranking out meat. They're not competing in the contest, but they're going to be giving fucking amazing meat. They're going to be interacting with people. They're going to be telling people, promoting their barbecue restaurant. And it just made it a much better event. And you would think, well, why would you be inviting a different barbecue restaurant to come to this? It's because we're celebrating barbecue on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Exactly what Derek says. It has nothing to do with fucking Cali Comfort.
Right.
has everything to do with about the movement, about the people like you, the stories like you guys that are out here fucking grinding it out and, you know, getting catering opportunities out of it. So let's talk about that.
Well, it's funny because over those years at Vista, because that's all we used to do is just Vista once a year. And we always, you know, threatened to go somewhere else. But again, it fell on, well, can we go? Timing, money, all the above. Because like we're always talking about, it costs money to do this stuff. And then every time we would, you know, be doing something at Vista, there'd, you know, get a lot of buzz and people trying our stuff and be like, so where's your guys' restaurant at?
Yeah.
Like, well,
All the time.
All the time.
Well, we don't have a restaurant. Well, what do you mean you don't have a restaurant? We just kind of, you know, do this for fun. And like, we just do this for fun. Like, you know.
Are you nuts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or like,
Yes, we are.
like,
Absolutely.
so you don't cater? I was like, well, we do, but to friends and family and stuff, like we don't do it to people, you know, or cater to people we don't really know. And
once you get that enough, you're like, fuck, dude, we need to cater.
we should. And that was the same thing. Every time we should really start looking into that, or we should start becoming legal, or seeing what we could do and all that. And then that goes along with this year, and from that smoker that, you know, that we built, and it's just everything snowballed. It's been pretty unbelievable. We went down to the county office and got the business name, like, you know, on file and all that, Yardpirates BBQ. Did that, and then finally did, you know, got shirts, and
Insurance.
then insurance, and I called you up, and
that's that dirty thing that no one likes to talk. I talk about it all the time. You'd much rather pay for insurance than pay for a lawsuit. You don't want to find yourself in a deposition. Trust me, they're not fun.
And that was one thing we always, like you always talk about, is the community of barbecue, and how everyone's pretty open and friendly. And all the years at Vista, we would always be trying to talk to other people. And was it Dale?
Dale is the guy who used to run it.
Yeah, Dale at When Pigs Fly. This just last Vista, he was right next to us, and we started picking his brain about, you know, suggestions and catering, and like, you know, what do you know? He goes, well, right off the bat, I would stick to private parties and make sure, you know, you have insurance. And
my man.
So basically,
spoken like a true businessman.
Yeah. So that was the goal for Del Mar, is to become, you know, whatever legal, or get covered and all that. And it
legitimizes what you guys love doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually figure out ways to add funds to what you love to do. And who knows where that goes, you know, because you all have jobs, right?
Yeah,
you know, this is something that you do as a hobby. It's not, you know, you haven't jumped off the cliff all the way, but
not quite.
You know, you never know.
I keep joking. I keep joking. One of these days, I'm going to quit my job, and you know, I need the ability to make the money to make up for said job.
Sure.
To be able to jump off that cliff.
And you have a family, you have things, you have obligations, but you don't know unless you do what you're doing. You know, and like that journey started back when you guys, you know, started bullshitting around, and you're like, hey, it's a fucking drum, and let's cut it.
Let's cut it
up.
Now we're
now we're taking pictures with Sam, the cooking guy, at at Del Mar BBQ State Championship,
and paying for insurance.
Paying for insurance. What the fuck happened?
So,
I don't know how many pirates pay for insurance, but respect to that.
For sure.
These ones do.
Let's talk about I know we talked about fundraising, and you reached out, which is what we talk about in the podcast all the time. And we're fortunate that people that do listen, they get over whatever fear they have, and they just contact us, you know, whether that's on Twitter, #BehindTheSmoke, or whether that's through DM, through Instagram, through email. You can get a hold of us, and if I can't fucking answer the question, I'm going to send you to Derek. Derek, you know, he'll answer it, or we'll send it to Gene, we'll send it to Corey.
Just like the insurance thing.
Yeah, I mean,
you hooked me up with, you know, your guy.
All we're going to do is give you the best advice that we can.
Was it George?
What's up?
Insurance?
Yeah. So for fundraising, what are we talking about?
Well, so we're actually tomorrow, which is the 2nd, we're doing this fundraiser for this family in Valley Center. They about 3 weeks ago, the whole family was out in Texas, and they were in a really bad accident. I think they're going back to the airport.
Yeah, looking for a rental property out there, and we're on their way back to the airport, flying back after looking at it.
And drunk driver hit him. The mom, son died in impact. The dad was in a coma for a while. They ended up having to pull the plug on him, and the little girl, the daughter, like I think 5th grade, she survived. And so Valley Center, you know, is a pretty tight community, and Escondido. I mean, they're right next to each other. I mean, because basically, if you live in Valley Center, you're commuting, or you
How
work
many
in
people in Valley Center area?
I don't know.
Not many.
It's
rural.
It's rural.
It's
pretty
rural.
rural.
Well, outside of the
How many high
casinos,
schools?
One.
One high school,
Yeah.
Valley Center High
Escondido-
School,
Escondido has
which is
three.
relatively
It's
new. I mean,
probably
it's a couple
the
decades.
same size like it's Humul.
I would
Yeah.
compare it to Hummel.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Yeah, there's not like a supermarket. There's no fast food.
It's a
there's no
it's a
apartments.
village.
Like it's
that's
a farming community, but it's
Yeah.
awesome. It really is.
And you know, leading up to this, like we've always talked about, you know, especially with the smoker now, getting more involved with community or just doing things because you know we have this platform of the barbecue and this ability to, you know, cook large amounts of food and again, yeah, we do this for just for, you know, for fun, or, you know, it's not our primary job. And then so anyway, and going back to Randy Gill,
Yeah.
definitely we've always talked about that too, that podcast and with him and what he did, and it's pretty inspiring, you know, and then coming with, you know, this tragic accident, you know, first thing we're talking about, God, you know, it'd be cool to try to help out, and you know, remembering what Randy would do and all that, and how it's like, you know, by trade I'm a lawyer, and you know, just do this for, you know, just because, and so it's pretty cool remembering that, and then a local gas station up there put on Facebook he wanted to do a car wash, and if he, you know, any other suggestions, you know, contact him. And so I contacted him and said, hey, you know, we've got this, you know, little barbecue business catering thing that, you know, we could totally cook and help out, and maybe we could see about, you know, getting donations for meat and blah blah blah, or money, and then it basically just ballooned up, and so yeah, so we're doing it on Saturday, and it's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, we're you know, this episode will come out, but we'll follow up, and you're gonna let me know how that event goes.
Sure.
And you know, it means a lot for us to continue Randy's legacy, because that's a legacy that Gene taught us.
Yeah.
How many people are you guys expecting?
Don't know.
Did you guys get meat?
Not yet. Today.
Did anyone? Are you guys buying it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll donate it. So you tell me what you want.
Right
Wow,
on. man.
that's
So there you go.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Valley Center Aid Group, they're a very quiet organization up there, which friend of a friend, knowing them, yeah, they were, you know, willing to also step up and donate money, and they do fundraising and charitable stuff, but no one really knows about them. And in fact, just talking with the guy last night, Larry, seemed like a very good group of people. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I mean,
After the podcast, I'll call Scott Heath from Fox 5 and see if we can get any coverage for you guys.
That'd be
if
awesome.
they're not already going to be covering it. But
That's,
I mean, what tragedies that happen in life, it's terrible, you know. And the most amazing thing, the gift that we have and that we've been given is, you know, that through barbecue we can do our best to give back.
Yeah.
And I mean, frankly, that's why we're podcasting. That's why we're putting on the Spring Valley event. That's why we put on the Del Mar Barbecue State Championship. And you know, people like Randy Gill, I mean, that's the inspiration. I mean, somebody that's as selfless as you can be. And you know, he was literally weeks away from passing away with cancer, and was willing to come on the main stage at Del Mar and record that podcast episode with Derek and I to share his story, because he's so humble that, you know, he's not out there telling people what he did, because that's just not who he is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but now we have a podcast that we can refer to that could be inspiration to help, you know, raise money for, you know, this poor little girl that doesn't have her family. I mean, that's
Yeah.
It's tragic.
It's tragic.
It's heart-wrenching.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, and that's what's kind of neat. Again, just over the overall community with Valley Center is that they're very tight knit. Well, it's a small community, which I guess you see that a lot of. I mean, I'm expecting it to be, big for Valley Center.
Sure,
so, I mean, everybody wants to help out, and the father, unfortunately, he was a high school teacher at the high school. So I mean, they were really well known and loved. So, we want to just help out any way we can, and if it's donating in our time to go and cook, like you said, it's not necessarily monetary wise, but hey, we can raise money, and 100% of that is going to her. Whatever we can do to help.
I mean, the best part about it is that you've put yourself in position where you can help in the way that's the best possible. We talked about it before. It is, what you do now is you've built your brand you built your smoker. Now you can give back. Now it's not about, oh, how can I get involved to help? You can always get involved to help.
Sure.
Anybody can donate their time to come help out at the car wash, but like now you guys have an actual impact that you can do, to really help in a time of need.
Yeah.
And doing what we love too. So
Absolutely.
That's like, I mean, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah, for sure. And
well, kudos to you guys, man. That's awesome. I mean, to take the time out, we talk about it a lot. It's you need to be the change that you want to see, and for what's happening in the world right now and how fucked up it is, there's still good people out there that will do the right thing, and hopefully the community comes together, like you said, and I think they will.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but hopefully they just raise a shit ton of money for this little girl.
Yeah. And, a lot of credit to you guys, because with your guys' stories and being who you guys are and being real, and, you guys are leaders of your businesses and all that, and how you carry yourselves. And, I mean, it definitely reflects. So, like, we see it. We talk about it a lot, just little things, whether it's, hey, this podcast, if you guys didn't ever have this podcast, we would have never found out about Randy, or, all the above, or if you never stopped by at Vista, and
we never even knew about the Spring Valley one.
No.
We were joking about that coming down here, going, man, would have been a good place for us to start.
Perfect.
That's why we started it, was to get your feet wet before you jump into the KCBS. But there's different paths. Everyone takes.
We've
a
had
different
people
path.
go from the Spring Valley to the KCBS.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
we had a blast out there at your guys' thing this year.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's a different group. It's an eclectic group. But bringing this, like we talk about it, bringing this community together. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, your religion, whatever it is. You just come together, and we can do it in the name of barbecue. That's pretty fucking cool.
That is.
It's pretty exciting. It really helps me and Sean to really push us even more to continue to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys have an amazing team. That was one thing that we definitely noticed was
always.
This, and I reached out to you, Sean. I mean, your guys' staff that you guys have at Valley Farms and at Cali Comfort that help run that event. I mean, if there's any teams out there that are looking to try and go and start barbecue, competing, man, you guys made it just so easy. I mean, really, if you needed something, it was like, hey, I need this, or hey, where's that, or oh, I don't know, or it's right here, or they were on the they're on the walkie. Let me find someone for you. Let me get, and you could tell they wanted to be there. It wasn't just ho hum, I'm here, I'm working.
We don't fucking pay a lot of them. A lot of them are just volunteers.
A lot of them, people like JC, people like Bill, people like Derek, people like Chris. I mean, Abby, Layla, Corey. I mean, we're so fortunate to get to where we are, because Derek and I, we can't continue to grow unless we have people that also believe in what we're doing. And it goes back to what we were talking about before. It's not about getting paid for the event. It's about doing something that no one else is fucking doing. They're not doing it because we don't have money to pay out, to our team, but we can do some really fucking cool stuff. We can do some stuff in Spring Valley. I mean, you guys were on Troy Street. I mean, Troy Street's probably the last place that any organizer would ever pick to throw a festival. But leave that up to me and Derek.
We always say we can move mountains if we have enough time.
So Yardpirates, that's a social handle on Twitter.
Yardpirates BBQ, yeah.
So who's is that your wife?
My wife Mindy does most
Shout
of
out
the
to Mindy
social
for
stuff.
pushing.
Yeah.
She's pushing.
Had she not stepped out and just said, "I'm going to handle it." I mean, Garrett and I, we have our own social stuff that I do here and there.
Yeah.
Instagram, I post like here and there of my fun side of life, But as far as going out, stepping above and full on making the profiles and trying to stay up on oh, we cooked something this weekend.
Sure.
Let's throw a picture up. Yeah, she's been really good about trying to push
having
it, keep it
someone
rolling on
like
it.
your wife, Mindy, is great to get it started. And one of the things that we encourage everybody, no matter who you are, is to just do it. Just don't be afraid of your phone. Don't be afraid to take pictures. Don't be afraid to send a tweet. Don't be afraid to post on Instagram. Just fucking do it. It's like, it's not about the sexy photo at the end. It's about the journey. It's about the process. And, shit fucking happens. We published a podcast where Derek wasn't on the microphone and we had to republish the podcast. But, that's a podcast war story.
It's the truth.
It's
Shit,
the truth.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
we fucked up.
It's what happens. We fucked up.
It happened.
Learn from it. It won't happen again, hopefully, right?
Yeah. But it's who we are. We're transparent. We're showing our journey and inviting everyone in.
It's behind the smoke, right?
It is. Yeah. So we have a couple social shout outs we want to give to, first of all, to Corbin's Q. We all went out there to celebrate his grand opening. He's a new barbecue baby.
Yeah,
but
he's a character.
if you're not following him on Instagram, do it now, immediately. Stop driving, pull over.
Check out his workout.
Check out his workout video. He has a barbecue workout video. We want this thing to go viral because it's fucking hilarious. I mean, it's seriously, I think it made my week. It was probably the best thing I've seen in a long time. So that's at Corbin's Q. It'll be in the show notes. We also want to give a shout out to at Double D, Derek. At
Dirty D,
WD05
Double Dawson.
On Twitter. He's always active, always aggressive. San Diego Gulls placed in second place in tri-tip, which is a real big deal. He's been working hard, posting photos, behind the smoke photos every Sunday. He's been firing up. There's a local eating and drinking San Diego foodie group. He's been posting all kinds of barbecue stuff, and people are talking shit, and he's saying, hey, there's great barbecue in San Diego, and other pitmasters like Andy and Coop, they're all jumping in and chiming in, and it's exciting. So we appreciate those guys for doing that, and please write a review. It means a lot to Derek and I. And tell a friend that you think would like the podcast.
And be honest, man.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to hear it.
I got tough skin.
Yeah. It's thick.
It's thick
Very
skin.
thick.
Skin. But Yardpirates BBQ,
Thank you guys
are
for taking
fucking
the time, man.
badass.
You guys rock.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do have to break bad news to you, and that's since you've been at Del Mar and Spring Valley now, you're in forever. So
Yeah, exactly.
you can't
That's
fucking
horrible.
hide
You're
from us.
It's horrible.
I am one persistent.
guys are
I am
stuck
one
with us.
persistent asshole. I will tweet you. I will text you. I will email you. I'll show up at
He
your
ain't lying.
door.
I think I'm okay with that.
I will find you and make sure that you guys are good and you guys are keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Follow their journey, and we'll check you guys next week.